Just going to have a look at some sprig decoration very briefly. Now this is a flower pot, and it's got two sprigs on it. One is a bee on that side, and the other is just a little motif made of acorns and oak leaves. Now those sprigs have been added on to the raw body, and although all this is terracotta, I'm just going to demonstrate this in white clay. Incidentally, the moulds, the plaster mould for the sprigs that the sprigs are made in, is this one, and you can see that's been used with terracotta clay. And the one for the bees is a bit smaller, it's this one. We've got a few of these, but I'm just going to show you what I've done there. Is I've pressed the clay into the sprig mould. So we've got a few birds here. That's a turkey at the bottom, and I'm not quite sure what the others are actually. I'll have to release them and we'll have a look. So I'm just going to use compressed air to do this, and let's start with the bees. So there's a bee out of the mould. We'll have a closer look at it in a minute. I'll just put it over there. And so that's a couple of bees, and I'll just see if I can. These are the first of the two birds out of that sprig mould, and that's a pheasant of some sort by the look of it. It's a bit too much clay on that. I'll show you how I've put it in there, and this looks like it could be a partridge, I'm not sure. And so that mould there is now empty, and I'll just take the other two. One's out, and that one's out. There's a very small plaster mould here, and that one normally obliges by flipping over the right way. So it's just basically a way of reproducing something as many times as you want. And these need trimming up with a knife, which is a very easy job. I normally leave them until they've just hardened up a little bit, and then pull these bits off first of all. They come off quite easily like that. It's not very difficult to clean them up. Okay, so what we've done here is if we take this one in particular, which looks like a woodpecker, we made that initially out of linoleum, and we would then have pressed red clay onto it so that we've got an imprint of it, and then we would have cast the plaster mould around that, and then we can use that as many times as we want. I use these for glaze tests mostly, and sometimes we glaze them all the way around and make little badges, or we make hanging decorations for Christmas trees out of them, and all sorts of things. It's really quite useful. And what I want to do really is you don't need any special kind of clay for this. If we just take this one here and I'll move some of these others out of the way, all you really need, apart from the mould, is a little bit of clay. So you just press it into the plaster mould like that. Pull a little bit of the excess back on top of it. And then I just like to use a little bit of canvas and a mallet and just gently bang that down. You can use a little roller instead of the mallet if you want. And then all we have to do is take the surplus off with a wire like that. And then when it's had a chance to go off a little bit, we just use the compressed air to pull it out of the mould like that. Well, look, you don't even have to wait for it. So there's another one like that. It's quite floppy clay, but you can see that it's made a pretty accurate impression. Now, the only other thing that I was going to say was that I thought at some stage, as I've got to make some plaster moulds, I might show you a different take on it, because there must be 60 or 70 demonstrations on YouTube on how to make a plaster mould. But if you have a look at these moulds, anything from, for instance, this one, which is quite a big one, to this one, which is a pretty tiny one. It's useful to have a jig that is adaptable to take a lot of different size moulds, and this is what I use here. I'm just going to move some of this stuff a little bit further out of the way so you can see what it is I'm doing. And the beauty of this really is that you can construct a box virtually any size you want. So that's that size, and then if you want to make it smaller, you can make it smaller in any direction you like. And what you do with this mould is you just clip the sides. Say here and here, I use spring clips for those, which are very cheap. And I use decorator's cork to seal the gaps and seal it around the bottom, and then put your mould into the base and pour the plaster. It's quite easy, but you can see that this is actually quite a flexible way of making up plaster slabs. And I've got some to make for drying clay out, because I've only got one, and we've got two different kinds of clay, so I'm using both sides of that, and I need some more. And there's always jobs when we're doing specialist things. This is a wine cooler here, and it's like a planter, but it hasn't got holes in the bottom of it. And this has a sprig decoration on the front of it that we apply while we're building it. And so we're always making new stuff, designing new stuff, and producing it, and a lot of it is press molded into plaster. We don't do pour slip into plaster molds. We never done that. And but plaster's a really useful medium in a studio pottery, and it's very helpful to have a few hints. So I'll get to that. Please like and subscribe if you want to see any more of our videos. Doesn't cost anything to subscribe, but you might pick up some useful tips, and that's really the purpose of the channel. Well, thanks for watching that.